Hello, everyone. Welcome to our webinar today. This is Scott Jorgens from Endeavour Solutions and GP Support North. We're working under both banners today, supporting both Dynamics GP clients as well as clients using Dynamics 365 Business Central. Today's webinar is on online billing and customer payment portals with the goal of helping you get paid faster. As per the agenda today, we're going to be looking at electronic billing, portals, reminders, matching, and a variety of other components. On the line with us, I have Fawaz from Nodus. Fawaz, why don't I let you introduce yourself and introduce us to PayFabric and your customer portals.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Scott. Hello, everyone. My name is Fawaz. I'm with Nodus Technologies. I also have my colleague McKenna here online as well. She's also from my team. We are part of Nodus Technologies, and today we're going to be talking about our cloud-based payment engine called PayFabric. We will be talking about customer-facing payment portals. We will be looking into some of the challenges that AR, accounts receivables, teams face when it comes to collecting payments, and what are some of the methods you have as Microsoft Dynamics GP or Business Central users to enhance, secure, and streamline your payment collection processes. AR automation or accounts receivable is a hard line for every business. One of the things that most people don't realize is that, well, there's a saying that I like to start off with is that, there's a saying in business, in order to make money, you need to spend money or invest money. But one of the things that most businesses or organizations don't realize is that in order to collect your payments, how much money you're spending. So these processes, if your accounts receivable process is inefficient, then not only that it can be extremely costly, but very dangerous too. We live in an internet world, in a world where there's cyber attacks and online data breach is very common. So as a business administrator, as an accounting manager, or as a person who's working in your accounting team, it is your responsibility as a business owner to protect your customers' information, to protect yourself and your customers from any potential data breach and any potential cyber attack. And that's why it is important to reevaluate how you take payments, what areas can be automated, and what areas can be offloaded from you. So one of the most important things that PayFabric brings into equation is a cloud-based payment engine. And the reason I'm emphasizing on cloud is because with the cloud, now you are not touching any credit card data in your environment, or your servers in case of GP. Your servers are not getting exposed to any of the customer's credit card data. All of that stays up in the cloud, which helps alleviate a lot of PCI hurdles, and it makes it it essentially takes a lot of stress away and burden away from storing, encrypting, and securing firewalls and whatnot. So today we'll be looking at electronic billing payment portals. What are some of the options for you to send reminders to your customers? How can you do some things in terms of accounting system? How do you connect your payments with your accounting system? So there's what we call like an integration gap, a bridge that we cover, a gap that we cover with an integration bridge, where we connect payments with your accounting system. And as Scott mentioned, we will be looking into Great Plains as well as Business Central. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to start off my demonstration from the GP side. I'm going to show you what options do you have, how do you process payments inside of GP, how can you set up a customer-facing portal so you can essentially empower your customers to take payments or to take charge of their payments on their own. And then I'm going to transfer it over to McKenna from my team, who's going to show you all of that, but from the Business Central side. So thank you for passing the control over to me, Scott. So right now, what you're looking at is my desktop where I have Microsoft Dynamics Great Plains loaded. Now, again, this here on this version that I have in my demo environment, this is GP 2018, and I believe the latest version, but we work with some of the previous versions of GP as well. So please ignore the GP version here. We're going to be focusing on our application. Our application works exactly the same way across other GP versions as well that we support. So in both applications that in both ERPs, Business Central and Microsoft Dynamics GP, we're going to talk about two components. There's a component that sits inside of your accounting system, inside of ERP, which allows you to process, manage payments directly within ERP. And then there's a customer-facing portal as well that you can set up for your customers, for your even for your internal team members as well, actually. So let's start from GP and let's start from inside of GP. So inside of GP, we have a tool called Credit Card Advantage, which essentially is basically it's like a chunk file that when we install, it becomes part of GP. And once it's installed, so under transactions, you will see Credit Card Advantage and you will see all its menu item here. And basically what Credit Card Advantage does, it allows you to process payments and manage payments all within GP. Now, just a very, very quick history, Credit Card Advantage has been around since beginning of GP times, even before it was Microsoft Dynamics GP, when it was Great Plains as an independent company. So it's been around for a very long time. Over the years, it has not only become extremely popular, but also has gone through many iterations. It has enhanced, evolved a lot, and there are a lot of functionalities. Obviously, I'm not going to cover all of them during this presentation, but you are, I would highly encourage you to connect with your representative over at Endeavour, and who will essentially be able to explain to you more how these applications that I'm talking about today can work in your environment, and they can furthermore even arrange private meetings with us. So let's look at Credit Card Advantage. Credit Card Advantage, as I mentioned, allows you to process managed payments within GP. The way Credit Card Advantage works is that it essentially integrates with all the receivable areas of GP, such as sales transaction entry, invoice entry, transaction entry, or even cash receipts. So basically what that means is no matter what type of business you're in, no matter what cycle or phase of your sales cycle you take payments, whether you take payments at the time of taking an order in a pre-authorization form, or even if you take payments 30 days or 40 days later, like on payment terms, however you take payments, or even if you take deposits, like even before an order or an invoice is created, no matter what type of business you're in, what your sales methodology is, Credit Card Advantage is robust enough to fit in there. So just to show you an example of how it works, I'm going to process a simple cash receipt, and what I'm going to show you is how do you process a payment directly from a cash receipt window. So what you're looking at in front of you, this is a GP window, which you are probably already familiar with, and I'm going to create a simple cash receipt. The only difference is I'm going to use credit card as a method of payment, and then I'm going to enter the dollar amount and tab off. So when I hit tab, it will automatically open up this window. Let me move it here a little bit so you can see properly. It will automatically open up this window called the e-transaction entry window. This is basically where the Pay Fabric kicks in. So we actually put like a logo here that says powered by Pay Fabric. This is just to let you know that this is basically where Pay Fabric is. Now here, if you notice that there's a default credit card number that's pre-populated, you can either use this credit card, you can type in a brand new credit card number if you want to. And after that, essentially, once you have the credit card information, you can just go ahead and hit the process button. It will process this payment in a real-time manner for you. So it will tell you immediately if this payment went through or if it was declined. If this payment was declined, the process would have stopped right here and you would have gotten a decline message. Now, in this case, the payment went through, so you got an approval message. So this shows a payment went through. Now, we also, in the back end, automate email delivery. So this way, an email confirmation has already been sent out to the customer and all that as well. So this way, you don't have to, so a couple important things here. So this way, you don't have to, go to a, first of all, you don't have to go to a separate system, a separate like a terminal to process payment and then come to GP. You were able to securely process this payment directly from GP, and then you don't have to send any invoices, any confirmation out because the system automatically does that for you. I'm going to process one more payment very quickly, and couple important things that I'm going to point out over here is this. Because Great Plains is an on-prem type of solution that is installed on a server, whether you use a hosting service provider or if you host it yourself, Great Plains is designed as an on-prem system. So what we do is like this window right here is an iframe that's coming directly from PayFabric Cloud. So what that means is that none of this credit card data is in GP. In fact, even if you type in a brand new credit card number, it actually bypasses GP and it goes straight to your to the PayFabric Cloud. So PayFabric Cloud is basically a secure, when I say it's a payment engine, it has two responsibilities. It basically stores all the credit card data for you. So this way you don't have to store anything on your servers. And secondly, it processes the payments for you. So here you can see what credit card data is stored with PayFabric, and I can see that. And then I can also process that credit card data as well. Now, the another part that I do want to mention is that we do support ACH check processing as well, not just credit card, but we process checks too. And it's pretty simple. So right here, I have a setup ID called credit card, but if I switch it to one of the check ones, then it will reset the form and it will allow me to, actually, sorry, this one right here, it will allow me to enter account number and routing number so I can just process a check electronically rather than mailing a check or rather than going to a bank and putting a check in a mail and receiving paper checks and whatnot. So you can process checks electronically as well. In terms of security, and since we're talking about that, there are a few other important features that we have built in. And specifically now, this is becoming more and more popular now than it was ever before. Especially because a lot of people are working from home, a lot of people are working remotely. So many of our customers, our clients that use this application, they have now imposed restrictions or policies in their organizations where they prohibit any employee to take credit card over the phone. There is no reason to, because if you want to, you can have a customer portal where the customer can just go and enter the payment information themselves, which I'm going to show you just in a minute. Or you can even send links directly from GP to collect payment from customers. So for example, I need to collect just payment information, right? So let's say I'm a customer service rep. I'm talking to a customer named Fawaz, and let's say, hypothetically speaking, I don't have this person's credit card information on file. All I can do, I can just click this button that says send wallet link. And what that will do, it will open up this window where I can type in an email address or a text message, like a cell phone number, to send an SMS text message to them. So essentially what will happen is it will send them a link in a text message and an email, in this case, both, where the customer can just click on using their cell phone, enter the credit card number themselves, and it will be stored in PayFabric for you. So this essentially, with this method, now you don't have to have people read out credit card number over the phone. Again, as I said, that it has always been popular, but now it is becoming more popular because of the whole work from home situation. Likewise, you can even process payments directly from an invoice level too, or you can even send links to collect payment. So like, for example, I showed you how you can send a link to collect credit card information to be stored on file, right? But likewise, you can send a link to collect payment as well. So I can send like a link in an email or a text message, and this will essentially send a link to the customer, so this way they can click on that link and make a quick one-time payment. So again, these methods have been introduced to completely take any reason away to take credit card information, or to get your team exposed to the credit card data, or even ACH or check data. So let's shift gears a little bit and talk about the customer payment portal. So PayFabric does have what we call PayFabric receivables. It's a customer service, a customer-facing payment portal. Very, very similar concept of like how you pay your cell phone bills, how you pay your utility bills, or like your electricity bills, for example. Just the way you pay your bills online, you can allow your customers to go online and make payments. These portal are fully integrated with Business Central or with Great Plains in this case. McKenna will show you the Business Central side of this. Here you can essentially see, as a customer, when I log in, I can see all the details, my outstanding invoices. I can drill down on any of these invoices to see the detail of this invoice, all the line items. All of this data is coming directly from GP or BC. I can download this from my records if I want to. There are many other, you can see historical data, like such as payment histories and all the invoices and whatnot. You can even, as a customer, I can even see my wallet. I can see what credit card and what check information I have on file with you. I can even sign up for automatic payments if I want. And there are a lot of ways how you can create automatic payments. So you know how for your, like let's say hypothetically speaking, for your cell phone bill, you can keep a credit card on file and say that, hey, whatever my bill is, just have it automatically be paid every month. You can technically do things like that over here too. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you a simple example of making a payment. So I can select multiple invoices to pay. But in this case, I'm just going to go ahead and pay this invoice right here for $642. I can also make partial payments too, but all of that is configurable. If you don't want to allow partial payments, you don't have to allow partial payments. So now in this case, what happens is it takes me to my review and payment page where I can see one more time, what am I paying, what my total is, and then I can pay by check or credit card. So right now, there's a default credit card that's on file, but I can actually enter a new credit card number or a check number, or I can just pay by check so I don't have to mail you a check. It makes it a lot more convenient for your customers, so they don't have to go to write a check and buy a postage and put it in mail. And you don't have to receive any checks in mail or take them to the bank. I'm going to go ahead and make a credit card payment. And for credit card, you can also impose additional security. Like, for example, if you want to allow people to use their existing credit card on file, you can do that, but you can make it mandatory for them to enter their CDB2 code, those 3 digits behind the code. I have it disabled just because this is my demo environment, but you can make it mandatory. So I'm going to just go ahead and process payment, and essentially what happens is it will process this payment. It will tell me that this has been successfully processed. If this was declined, it would have told me that it was declined. A copy of this receipt has already been emailed to me on my email address that's on file. And most importantly, what has happened is that this payment has already been submitted to GP and has already been applied to this invoice for this amount. So this is the most important part when it comes to integration. All of our this portal is fully integrated with GP and BC. So what happens is when a customer, so let's say if you create a new invoice, immediately that invoice is, when you post that invoice, immediately that invoice is available on the portal. And when you make a payment, immediately that payment gets integrated back into GP. And just to show you, this is the confirmation that I received for the payment that I make. Again, these are all templates that you can change whatever you want it to say. And let me show you what this looks like inside of GP. So just for the sake of, because I don't remember, I'm going to just say it's a PFR 000235. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to GP cash receipt window just to show you what that looks like over here. 235. And see, $642 came in immediately. And it's already been applied to the right invoices for the right amount. So in this case, I already had one invoice that I was paying. But if it was multiple invoices, it would have been applied to multiple invoices. So this is super important because throughout the day, as your payments are being made, or whenever a customer makes a payment, it will be integrated and applied into GP all automatically. So this way, A, you don't have to process any payments, and B, you don't have to figure out which payment goes to which invoice. Now, everything that I showed you, whether it's a pay link, which is sending a link to a customer to make payment, whether it's a customer-facing payment portal, processing payments from invoices, processing payments on a cash receipt level, all of that is also available inside of Business Central too. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to transfer this over to my colleague McKenna, who's actually going to show you a little bit on the Business Central side. So McKenna, I'm going to send this over to you.
Thank you, Fawaz. Okay, so again, like Fawaz had mentioned, the solution is completely integrated inside of Business Central as well. So once an invoice is posted inside of Business Central, again, your customer would receive an email, looks a little like this, to pay now or to log into the customer payment portal to make a payment. When your customer selects login, they'll be brought into our login page where they can enter in, again, their username and password. Once logged in, your customer can make a selection of their invoice, make a partial payment again, and continue to pay. All right, they can choose from one of their payment methods. And then from here, go ahead and confirm and pay. And just like inside of GP, the solution is going to create a cash receipt that's going to be coming back into Business Central, paying off the correct invoice. So we made a $20 payment for the invoice ending in 3218. And this payment ID is going to be PF ending in 10. So now back inside of Business Central, in our cash receipt journal, we should see that cash receipt have come in to pay off that correct invoice. Okay, so right here we see the cash receipt number PF ending in 10. So other functionalities that the solution provides is you can process payments also directly with inside of Business Central. So for instance, in our cash receipt journal, we will be able to create a cash receipt. Now over inside of Pay Fabric, we can either create a sale, or if you'd like to refund the amount back to the customer's payment method, you can do that as well. But here we can create a sale, Here we can choose from PayFabric credit card, or we can choose an e-check as well. But now I'll just select PayFabric credit card. And again, we can choose from the customer's payment method on file and process a payment. All right, now on the screen, we'll see the PayFabric transaction has been approved. So that's how we're going to take a payment directly with inside of Business Central. All right, the other area we can make a payment is going to be in sales invoice. You could also make the same payment inside of sales order as well. So inside of sales invoice, we can make a payment through a credit card as well as an e-check. We can even send a pay link out to the customer. So if you would like to send a one-time link to make a payment on an invoice, we can go ahead and do that. So after creating an invoice, now under invoice details, under payment method code, this PayFabric option is available. We can pay through PayFabric credit card, PayFabric pay link, or as well as an e-check. Now under PayFabric, again, we can choose from one of the customer's payment methods. We can either create a sale or pre-authorize the payment method. And from here, we see the PayFabric transaction has been approved. And now on this invoice, we see the captured amount on this invoice is the $433.60. All right, so just like Fawaz had shown, you're able to do the same things that you are able to do in GP inside of Business Central. You can take a payment, you could send out a wallet link as well as a pay link to your customer. And also the customer payment portal integrates the same way in GP as well as it does in Business Central.
Thank you so much, McKenna. And thank you so much for showing the PayFabric, Business Central site. So as McKenna mentioned, pretty much everything what she showed you, she explained to you how how you could process payments inside of Business Central using a cash receipt window. You can do it on an order invoice level. You can send pay links, as well as you can essentially set up a customer-facing payment portal as well. So now what we have showed you today, there you go. Thank you so much, Scott. So what we have showed you today is essentially on a very high level, we talked about AR automation. And AR automation is essentially from the time the invoice is created, you post it, or the time the invoice is posted to delivery of that invoice. So our application, and we didn't show you that part, but essentially when you post an invoice in your accounting system, GP or BC, immediately that invoice is available on the portal. Customer gets a notification. You can even attach a copy of that invoice, which is a delivery of that invoice, from the time the customer goes online to make a payment on their own at their leisure. So they don't have to wait. They don't have to wait for your business hours to call you to make a payment over the phone, or your customers don't have to go to bank to make payments. Now they can essentially, at their leisure, at their convenience, they can go online, make a payment, and payment is integrated back into the accounting system. All of this not only improves efficiency in your existing process, but also is very convenience for customer too. Because as I mentioned, that now they don't have to go to banks to make payments, or they don't have to essentially go out of their way to make payments. There has been numerous studies shows that setting up a self-service payment option can tremendously help reduce DSO. DSO is days sales outstanding. It's basically a KPI that that accounting departments use to track how quickly they're collecting payments from their outstanding AR. So the lower the DSO, the better it is. So all that means is that faster you're receiving payments from your customers. And obviously, we talked about lots of security benefits, related benefits that you get by not having a need for your internal team or staff be exposed to any of your customers' sensitive data, such as credit card number and ACH number. But besides that, manual processes are expensive. Manual processes are very expensive. There are numerous studies that have done. This is one of the studies that we did a few years ago. It was based on a customer that was processing about 600 invoices a month. Now, 600 invoices is, for some of you might say, well, that's, we do a lot more than that. But some of you may say, hey, we do, a lot less than that. But this is, again, just what an average, typical size of business that, uses GP or Business Central does, like about 600 invoices, let's say, right? So if you add up all the costs, printing, mailing, sending notices, collecting, processing payments, and applying it to the time that it takes to apply payments, and all the reconciliation problems, all the data entry errors, like human errors that are associated with manual data entry. So if you can keep everything in mind, it can get really expensive. And according to this study, this particular company that was processing 600 invoices a month, they were spending about $6,000 on paper billing, which is technically about $72,000 or a little over $72,000 on annual cost. So it's, as you can see, it's a lot of money that you can save by automating these processes, by not, and if you look at these costs, the biggest chunk is the manual labor that goes behind it. Because now, if you replace all of this, you will have a system, an application that can send all that data to the customer, whether it's reminders, whether it's new payment, new invoice notification, and even for your team, every time a payment is made, you get a new payment notification as well, and your accounting system is integrated or updated immediately. So a lot of ROI on the software side for embedding or adopting an AR automation tool such as what we showed you today. Now, on the other side of the screen, you see savings on credit card fees. Now, so as a company, we are a processor ourselves, which I will explain to you later in a second. But what we do is we specialize in what we call this level 2, level 3 processing, which essentially is additional level of data that because we are embedded into an accounting system, we're embedded inside of GP and Business Central, we know exactly what level of data we need to send to the processor in order to qualify for the best or the most optimal rates. So we have done, again, we have shown all of our customers savings on the fees as well when they switch over to us. So this is a real customer example, and for privacy reasons, I didn't write the name of the customer, but this is a GP user who was on average processing 3,500 transactions a month. Their volume was about $1 million a month. They used to pay about 2.62%. When they switched it over to us, it went down to 2.04%. So just alone on the fees that they were paying, they saved $35,000 a year just on the fees. Now, again, $1 million a month in credit card is a lot, right? I mean, this is on a bigger side. I mean, we have some customers that do a lot more than that, but we have a lot of customers who do a lot less than that. And when you are processing like $1 million a month, you're already probably getting really, really good rate. So even if we were able to drop it 0.5%, that's a huge accomplishment, because like as I said, like if you're doing $1 million a month on credit card payments, it's sort of easy, you are probably on a good rate anyways. So not only on the software side we help you, there's a big ROI, but on the fees, on the credit card processing fees, we can help you save as well. Scott, thank you. So what we showed you, as I mentioned earlier, that there are two components for both solutions, for GP or Business Central. The one component was inside, like payment processing within the accounting system. That includes, ACE credit card or ACH processing. It includes PCI compliant, the whole cloud storage that I talked about. Allows you to store credit card information on file, as well as payment links, those hyperlink that you can send in a text message or in an email directly from accounting systems. All of that is included in the application that sits inside of Business Central and GP. So these are essentially, look at these as two separate buying options. You can either, if you think that's all, if you want to purchase or if you want to start using payment processing inside of accounting system, you can do that. Or you can essentially introduce a portal which will include everything inside of an ERP system, but it will give you other options as well, such as a self-service customer payment portal that has its own a lot of benefits and a lot of feature that comes along with it, along with a 24/7 customer portal, but wallet management, payment reminders according to aging buckets. So we have all that automated in there as well. And again, please reach out to your representative at Endeavour to get more information on the licensing part of this, but this is just to explain you what are your two buying options. Nodus as a company, we specialize in payment processing. As I mentioned, our core is we are experts on the e-commerce electronic payment processing solutions, which includes customer payment portals, hyperlink, AR automation, and even payment processing, merchant services. As a company, Scott, you can go to the next one if you don't mind. As a company, we are a division of EVO Payments. EVO is one of the largest payment processor in America as well as Europe, like North America, South America, and Europe. Because we are a processor ourselves, we don't have to rely on a third-party payment relationships. So this way, you as a merchant, everything is under one roof for you. Your software, your processing, everything's under one roof. That gives you a ton of benefits in when it comes to support, ongoing technical issues. Like, let's say if you ever run into a situation where you need technical support, you only have one number to call, which is us, and we will help you no matter where the problem is. If it's on the software level, we will help you. If it's on the processing level, we will still help you. And also, because having everything under one roof, we essentially can help you reduce rates as well. So again, thank you so much. And I hope you found this useful. I'm going to pass it over to Scott. Yes, Scott, it's all yours now. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Fawaz. And thanks, McKenna. For those that are new to Endeavour, we've been around for 32 years now, primarily focused on Dynamics GP and extended to Business Central and Dynamics NAV. We've been supporting Dynamics CRM and Azure and Microsoft 365 for the last decade, and are here to help our clients. We now have close to 600 clients across Canada and the US, as well as internationally, and 3 lines of business: advisory services, implementations and upgrades, and then ongoing optimization and support of your systems. Using products such as Nodus is a great way to further extend your investments in both Dynamics GP or Business Central as a means to further automate your processes, reduce your days outstanding, and ultimately support your staff, whether they be working in the office or work from home. As a next step, reach out to our team at Endeavour, either any of your consultants or the Endeavour support desk, or reach out to Trish, James, or Steve. and we can talk to you more about your needs and help you get from point A to point B, and pull in the team at Nodus for additional discussions and scoping, and of course talk to our team about pricing and how that would work for your situation based on your volume of transactions and types of transactions, and of course, the credit card processing fees, be able to drive those down, as well as getting access to all the other great Pay Fabric components. So with that said, have a wonderful day, and thank you very much for attending our webinar from Endeavour and GP Support North.